Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. In today's video I'm going to do a bit of an update on what's going on with everything, because as I said in the Black Hoover destruction, a lot's gone on recently and I really haven't kept you all up to date with what's going on. So I'm going to quickly make this video today and hopefully get it out today of what's going on so you'll be up to date with what's happened. If you look over here, I have literally just written out a list of things that I need to talk about. So when we start with them, what we're in the shed renovation. Right, we start with that. So as you can see, I've now got these walls plywooded out. I've redone all the electrics, so it's now wired to a like fuse board, and I've also got a little switch here for a little LED light. It's quite cheap to run. I think it only runs on 3 volts or something like that, I can't remember, but it's quite a good light actually, to be honest. It's quite bright. And also, as you can see, I've done a bit of plumbing, so the WA62 drains into there, and then if you come over here, the Hoover drains into that one there. It isn't really fully secure. I need to work on it a bit more, but it will do for now as it's obviously working. And I've just got that tissue underneath it. Well, it was for testing purposes originally, and I've just left it under there. It isn't leaked. It's been like that for a few days and it's still bone dry, so I have no reason to doubt it will leak. I'm gonna try and have a bit of confidence in my work, I suppose. But yeah, as you can see, it's all, you know, fully sorted. We've got new flooring as well now. I still need to cut this hardboarding that this machine's sitting on, but I'm quite impressed with how it's all turned out, to be honest with you. It looks quite nice. It's quite decent to how it used to be, you know. So what next? What do I need to talk about next? The WA62. So recently we had some faults with it, and what happened was, I never really talked about it much, but what happened was it was literally just a random day. I think it was on the weekend, and I had the shed power on. This is like before the renovation of the shed, and this machine was plugged in all day like normal, you know, like how you would have appliances plugged in normally and the plug might be on. It was literally just like that, and it was on all day, and it got to around about the evening time and we had no power in the house, and it was a bit like, oh, it must just be a power cut, because I was indoors at the time. But no, it wasn't, because I looked under the stairs and it had tripped the whole house. So then I unplugged the shed, turned the power back on for the house, and I turned the switch on for the shed again, and it tripped immediately. So my initial thought was, oh, the shed wiring must be rubbish or something. Well, it weren't the best because I did it. But yeah, I thought it was something to do with the shed, and then I unplugged everything in the shed, and I plugged this machine in first, ironically, and then it tripped immediately. So I immediately knew it was to do with this, and I took the lid off and I could smell a really strong electrical burning smell. So I knew this machine was pretty much done for, and I was like, well, that's the end of that. But then a few days passed and I decided to disconnect everything and just like reconnect it one by one. And when I reconnected the pressure switch, that's when the smell started to come back. So I literally put a spare one on, and it's been fine now. It's, you know, I've done quite a few washes in it since I've actually replaced the pressure switch, and it's working absolutely fine, as you can see. So yeah, I've never really seen a fault like that, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a shock, because I thought it was like the element or something must have been leaking to earth or something like that, but it appears not. But like I say, I can't complain. It's working now, and I've got some upcoming videos of this machine, so stay tuned. I've also fixed the whole LED situation on the display, because before it wasn't always showing the time properly, so you can actually see how long it's got left now. At the moment it's just on a kind of fast cotton 50. But yeah, that's that machine. Then what one are we going to talk about next? The WT960 and the new cabinet. Right. Okay, so recently I decided the FEW12 will be the donor machine for a new cabinet, because Well, the thing is, I never really used that machine an awful lot due to the lack of features, being completely honest with you. So I thought, you know what, we just put the FEW12 cabinet on to this machine because it was in a pretty poor state. I might put some photos up of what it looked like before I changed it and what the new cabinet from the FEW12 looks like. The difference is quite insane really, but I mean, because I did try and spray paint this old cabinet, but it was quite literally like you touch the paintwork and if a bit of paint came off, it was just rusty underneath. So it's literally the whole cabinet was just rotted. It was really bad, but we put a new cabinet on it and it is, you know, it's working as it should now. And yeah, I don't know what else to really say about it. I don't really use it an awful lot, but when I do, I give it a good run. But I need to put a bit of sponge on the concrete weight at the front, because when you move it, the weight, if you move it on the soap drawer side, so you feel the weight's leaning on that side, the front weight literally touches the cabinet, and I think that's why the old one became so rusty, because it literally, you see so many scrape marks and all that. So I'm kind of trying to avoid that with this machine, so I need to do that at some point, just to kind of save this cabinet, because I ain't replacing it again. Because, well, at the end of the day, you can't exactly get a new cabinet for one of these, can you? So it's just best to really look after it, really. But as we're on the subject of the first edition as well, let's move on to that at the same time, just so you can kind of understand the situation with that, because that machine is probably going to get the brick eventually, which you'll probably be shocked to hear. But hang on, let me take you outside to where it is at the moment and you will see why. So the machine is literally just sitting out here in the normal place when they kind of die. So what's happened with this machine recently is that if we open the door, it won't stop making these noises, and I presume that's the bearing seal on the way out. So it's like the bearings probably won't have much longer before that water starts getting in. But it weren't just that as well. There was another issue we had with this a few days ago when I was deciding, because I was going to use this as like a how will it handle machine, but it turns out it was just knackered, because whenever you had it on a wash or something, it would think there's water in the machine, so you just start washing with no water, which is quite stupid really, because if I put it on a cycle of heat, then it would just set itself on fire. The pressure switch does work, so I'm not entirely sure why the machine's kind of gone wrong like that, really, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a weird one, unless it's just a PCB fault, I'm not sure, but it wouldn't spin or anything, so it was kind of just dead really. There wasn't really much I could do about it. But this has now got the old WT960 cabinet, and that's just a bit of mud on it there, but you can kind of see where I've painted it, I think, I hadn't finished painting it in all fairness to you, but you can kind of see my grubby hand marks there. So this has got the old cabinet, it's rusted to hell, it's falling apart at the seams, if I'm completely honest with you. So that machine will eventually meet the brick, because I'm not really interested in fixing it. I've tried fixing it and it needs a lot more done to it, and it's just gotten to the point where it's just not worth it anymore. It's just not worth the money. So I'll probably do that next week maybe, depending on how things go. Let's talk about the Hoover next. So the Hoover Dynamic next, then I've been using that just for normal loads really. There's not to really talk about this one. It's just been doing large wash loads, I suppose, because it's got a bigger drum on it than the other ones have. It's just been working as a washing machine should, really. It's not really much to really say about it, to be honest with you. It's been doing alright for how much I paid for it. I think I paid 20 to 30 quid for it, so it's not too bad if it's lasted me this long. I'm not exactly sure how long it will last, but the motor don't exactly sound the healthiest, but I can always just change it back over to the black Hoovers one, I suppose. But yeah, there's not really much else to say about that one. Then moving on up then, the machine that used to always destroy itself, the WMA64. It's kind of just sat on my workbench at the moment, as it's awaiting new bearings and a spider, which I need to order eventually. I just kind of haven't bothered at the moment because I've been busy with everything else, and to be honest, it's fine up here because I've got the WMA62 that I can just use as, it's literally the same machine, just slightly different programming, like the way it acts on spin, if you will. But yeah, it's just kind of sat there at the moment until I do something with it. So I guess the next thing I should talk about then is the Samsung, the Eco Bubble one, on where where it currently is. Oh, okay, so the WMA62 is on, about to do a spin. Quite good timing. I suppose I'll just keep the video on that then whilst I talk about where the Samsung is then. So the Samsung Eco Bubble, whatever you want to call it, the Eco 4060 one that we used to have in the house, isn't in the house anymore, but we do still have it. It's currently in a new location, which I think I may have uploaded a video already of its new location. It's in like a tool tidy type shelter thing. I'll put some proper photos up of it so you can kind of see what it looks like. I mean, I might make some more videos of it soon, but as of now, I haven't really made any videos of it apart from the one that I think I've uploaded recently on YouTube. But the reason why, I suppose you're probably thinking, why have we moved it out there? What's going on in the kitchen? So we've moved it out there because, wow, that looks quite unbalanced, to be honest. Let's see if it spins that. Will it spin? Oh, ain't that bad. Well, that looked quite bad, to be honest, but I suppose it wasn't too bad. Right, what was I saying? So yeah, right. So we moved the Samsung out of the kitchen because we've decided that we wanted a new dishwasher. After 10 years of not owning one, it's quite weird having one again, to be honest. I'll put a snippet of footage in now just showing the one we got. It's a Samsung, but unfortunately it isn't actually Samsung made, which I didn't realise. So this is the dishwasher in question that we've got. Obviously that's now in the Samsung washing machine's place. If I open it up, I suppose, see it's quite a nice finish really. But you can see it's not black, it's literally a dark stone grey, like I said. While I was filming this update video, I just don't see how they can justify this being black unless they classify this strip here being black. I don't know, I couldn't really tell you. But so far it's an alright dishwasher. It shows the time there. It yeah, no, it's been alright. We always use the 1 hour setting, which is a 1 hour 60. So I've got to put more salt in there and rinse it, I think. But yeah, no, it's a good dishwasher, but obviously it's not made by Samsung. That's the only thing I suppose ain't great, but you know, performance wise it doesn't seem too bad at all really. I mean, it's quite decent, to be fair. I might do a review on it. I don't really know, to be honest with you. It kind of depends if people want to see that, and it's, I suppose, something different. And you know, I don't really normally film dishwashers, but I suppose if it gets a review and people find it helpful, as I haven't really seen many of these models, to be honest, on YouTube. I did try and look, but there weren't really any on there. So really, this is first-hand experience for me, like seeing how it works. It's a dishwasher, so really ain't gonna do anything too different to other dishwashers, where washing machines, I suppose, act different on spin and all that, don't they, I suppose, and look different, do different things, like wash different. Whereas a dishwasher, I suppose, just kind of washes, and sometimes it might have a more powerful spray arm, like 3D Zone or Hotpoint might have, or something like that. But we only got it because it was in black, and you know, it was a quite fancy model, and we thought, you know, why not just treat ourselves to a high-end model, I suppose. But you know, then again, it's just one of them things, because we was going to get a cheaper one, but then we thought, you know, just go for the nicer one. Well, supposedly nicer one, if you will. Whether or not it's nicer than the one we was going to get is a completely different question. I suppose time will tell. Because we was meant to go for a black Hotpoint, because we're kind of changing the colour scheme of the kitchen. But as you can, if I've put the video in, insert it before this speech what I'm giving now, you can tell me if you think that's black, because to me, well, we've all said that just looks like a dark stone grey. It doesn't look black. Like I say, it just don't look black. that's the dark stone grey. So it's kind of like they thought, to me that's just false advertisement really, because that is not black. We were going to complain, but then we thought, what's the point? There's just no point, and it fits in well, don't get me wrong, but it's not the point. You're advertising something as black, but it's literally a dark stone grey. It is not black. And I just find it ironic why they're selling a black dishwasher when they don't even sell a black washing machine, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they only do white and silver, or whatever they call their silver, I can't remember. Because the colour of the dishwasher is literally near enough identical to the washing machine, the Samsung washing machine we have. So it's just a bit odd really, to be honest with you. But anyways, moving on. Right, what are we going to talk about next? I suppose we better talk about this one, seeing that it's literally on top of the W62. It's the Hotpoint vented tumble dryer. There's not too much to really report about this one, other than I've just been using it as you should. It hasn't really been used much of recently because, well, you know, it's just that kind of time of year in the summer. You just don't really use a tumble dryer, do you? But that actually leads me on to another thing. We're getting rid of the Hotpoint Ultimate S-Line tumble dryer because, well, we just never really use it. And the thing is, it leaks out the condenser. It don't reverse for that long on some cycles, and it's just a bit of an annoyance really, because you have to always unball it. It's a lovely tumble dryer, don't get me wrong, but we've just decided we're going to get rid of it. We're going to give it to someone that we know, just to get it out of our way, because, like I say, it's too good to go to scrap. We've barely used the thing. We just prefer using something like this because it reverses either way. It's low maintenance, it's easy to use, everyone can use it, so we just decided to keep it. Yeah, so hopefully that will go to some good people. The Ultimate S-Line, like I say, it's not going to scrap, so don't worry if you think it was. I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to waste an appliance that still works. So then the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about, just looking back at my notes because I've kind of forgotten what I want to talk about next, is the next possible washing machine that I might be getting tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to get it yet. I haven't really thought about it too much, but if I do get it, it will be tomorrow. The reason why I'm not too sure if I should get it is because it's not too cheap, but it's a model that I kind of do want again. But the issue is it's only a 1200 one, and I wanted a 1400 one really. I have had one of these before. I really liked it, to be honest with you. It was a good machine. I might show you a hint actually, because I've got some spare brushes for for the motors. So here's the brushes. Tell me what brand that might be for. The machine does fully work. They have shown it working to me, in all fairness. It's just the whole price, if I'm really willing to pay that and get it, because I'm not too sure if I will keep it. Well, I know I probably will keep it, but I don't know if I'm going to get rid of the Hoovers to put that in its place. It's kind of all up in the air at the moment, because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, because like I say, it's only 1200, but I want to make a working jet system, because it hasn't got one, and I don't really think they have them, unless you would like to go for, well, if I say what model, you probably immediately know, so I'm not going to say too much. But this brand don't normally have a jet system on this type of model, and I was going to make my own, because I've kind of, well, me and Luke, Bosch Classics 1200, we kind of came up with the idea on how to do it, and I have actually made a contraption that will work, ironically, and I never really thought that it could work in a machine. So you never know, you might see a video where I actually managed to make a homemade jet system that works automatically, and I think I might be able to also upgrade it to a higher spin. I'm not sure, so whether or not that happens, I don't know. If I don't get it, then obviously I'll say what it was and all that. But yeah, hopefully I do kind of hope to get it. I don't know, we'll see. So the next thing I want to kind of talk about then is the Hotpoint WF or WT, whatever you want to call it, 741 and 541, you know, that machine that's still seeing the lights of day of being repaired, and the WMA58 Hotpoint. So we'll talk about these next, whilst we watch the WMA62, I think, as a bit of a background video. So what happened was with the WT, right, I don't know how I'm going to really explain this. I'm not the best of explaining things, but what happened was I changed the tubs around on the WT741 and the WMA58. So the WMA58 had a newer drum, obviously, that I rebuilt and put a new front half of the tub and new rear half of the tub, you know, and the spider and all of that was replaced. So literally everything on that tub was brand new apart from the inner drum. But I put that drum into the 58, and what happened was I noticed the bearings sounded a bit ropey. But I didn't think much of it, to be honest with you, but then the noise started getting worse, and I'm pretty sure I do have video, no, I do have videos actually, because I've uploaded them to YouTube. I might put a few out soon. Is that going to spin that? No, it won't spin that. But I will probably publish. Oh, never mind. I really didn't think that was gonna spin, but wow. I completely lost what I was saying now. Yeah, no, so I put that drum into that, and the bearing started to go on it again, which is quite bad, really. It was literally only just replaced, and I've got videos that kind of uploaded that are unlisted at the moment, which I may publish when I publish this video in conjunction with it. So I ended up just getting rid of that machine for cheap. It was someone who was using it in their garage that didn't really care about the noise, so that's just going to be running to the ground with whoever has it now. And the WT741, that's kind of not really, I suppose, going to be fixed now, because the reason why I swapped the drums around was because the spider on that tub was actually going. Whoa, these machines are insane. So that machine, I reckon, will probably just be partsed out, and the rest of it will be scrapped, unfortunately, because I'm not being funny with you, that tub is just knackered as it is, and it's going to be a lot of money that I'm going to have to put into it again just to get it to work. I'm not really willing to do that when I've got machines in this shed that are better than that machine, because it's weird, it never really washed properly, if that makes sense. It used to do proper tumbles, but it'd only do it for half the time unless the heater clicked on, then it would do a long one, but that'd be like the only long tumble. So it's kind of like, is it really worth, you know, fixing when it's like that? Because I don't really use it that often, to be honest with you. I literally use these 3 on machines that are obviously down this level. I use them all the time, so it's kind of like, what's the point when I can just probably keep the parts if I really need it for a different one. But yeah, I don't really know what else there is to really talk about then. I think I've cleared up on most things that I need to talk about, really, because the issue I always have is I made about 2 videos prior to this a few months ago when I had the Zanussi ZWF, but so much happens, I get so much done even, that it just kind of makes the video outdated, and then it's like, what's the point of uploading it if it's just going to be an outdated update video, you know? So I'm going to have to really stick to my word and get this out today, otherwise it's just going to render this video pointless of even uploading, you know? So anyways, then I think that's it from me, and if I get the new machine tomorrow, I will show you what that is, and hopefully we will get some good videos out of it, because the thing is, I do quite like them models of what I'm looking at, and I think everyone else will, because like I said, I had one, but it was absolutely ruined, and I ended up sending it back. So you might kind of know what I'm talking about just for me saying I sent it back and didn't destroy it. So then anyways, this is going to be it from me and the WMA62 that's currently making a racket and destroying the shed. And I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching, I'll see you later.